Hi, my name is Rene Martinez. I have been known as Guitar Tech Extraordinaire. Heroes as far as guitar players around Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then I started meeting some people that were actually true stars to music in itself. But it didn't happen until I ventured out on my own. I tried to get a shop on my own and venture on my own as far as repair. And it was very difficult to do. So I got a phone call one day from a guitar store, and this man's name was Charlie Whiz, and he had a shop in Dallas that he had just started called Charlie's Guitar Shop. And he had called me and heard that I was a repairman looking for work, so that's how we hooked up. And we hooked up, and then we talked some business, and then I hung out at his place to see if we can get his business rolling, and it was just starting, so we were both looking for work and trying it out and make it happen, and it did, slowly but surely. But this was going to lead me to another road that I never even knew was going to happen. Guitar repair is something I never even dreamed about doing. Just from that broken guitar string that I did a long time ago with my dad, my very first guitar string, to wanting to learn how to do guitar repair. As time went on and Charlie's Guitar Shop became more popular and more well known for guitar repair and guitars, Jimmy Vaughan happened to come into the shop, and he had a band back then called Jimmy Vaughan and the Fabulous Thunderbirds, and this was his band. And he came in, and Charlie had met him at a club and invited him over to the shop for anything, and I met Jimmy Vaughan, and so he became a guy that would come into the store quite a bit, among other guitar players too, but he was one that was really cool because he was a local guy. He was from Austin, Texas, and then one day he had said, "Hey, do you know my brother Stevie?" And I said, "No." "Well, you'll have to send him down here someday." So, and then the time happened, and Stevie Ray Vaughan came into Charlie's Guitar Shop, and I got to meet his brother Stevie Ray Vaughan, and we were just acquaintances and talking, and nothing more to it than that. And then one day he had a guitar, because Charlie was trying to push Rene about how good Rene was a guitar repairman, and you know, you just can't trust your guitar to anybody. You really have to find out about the guy. So, and I encourage that still today, you know. But at that time, Stevie was trying to find somebody that would help him with his guitars. So he decided to go ahead, I guess, and give me a chance, and brought a guitar in to set up. And he told me how he wanted to have it set up. Now, at the time, in setting up guitars for the normal player, I set things up to a certain height. And when I got a hold of Stevie's guitar, he asked me to can I raise the action up a little bit on it? And I did. And there were some other things wrong with it, and I told him, you know, the neck was bowed and the nut was not right. You know, we need to straighten the neck out and everything. And as I was doing all this here, so I was actually catering to him while he was there, straighten out the neck and tuning, and then having him play the guitar. He would ask me, "Can you raise the strings up a little bit higher?" And he'd play it some more, and he goes, "Can you raise the strings up a little bit higher than that?" And we got these strings set up so high that that's just how he played. And once it was there, he was just in love with the setup and really liked that I would take the time to do something right. And he always liked it when people took the time to do something right. So that's how we started our relationship. It was just like that. In 1984, I remember Charlie finding some pickups at a guitar show that we had, and they were a complete set of Dan Electro lipstick pickups on the original plate, scratch guard. And he says, "We're going to take this here and we're going to make a guitar for Stevie." And I thought, "Oh, cool." So he wound up getting some parts, and we got a Stratocaster pick guard, and mounted them on there. He wired it all up, and I got the guitar body and I painted it and refretted it. And we talked about the paint, and I said, "Well, we should paint it something cool, like some kind of custom color." And Charlie asked me, "Well, like what?" And I said, "Well, let's do a metal flake or a pearl or a flip-flop." And just the word flip-flop, kind of like, got Charlie. He says, what's a flip-flop? And I said, well, it's one of those colors that turn a different color when you move, you know. It's basically white, but it's got either a blue tint on it, red tint on it, or whatever. I said, cool. He says, well, pick one out. So I picked out a blue tint, and there's a blue flip-flop. So I painted it, and he put a decal on it. It said Charlie's Guitar Shop decal on the headstock instead of like Fender or anything. And got it all set up and gave it to Stevie Ray Vaughan, and that was the beginning of a relationship with Stevie Ray Vaughan and Charlie's Guitar Shop, and it just didn't end. I was a muzak, if you want to call it, live muzak, playing guitar in a hotel lounge, and I did that for a long time, for a couple of years. And one night, Stevie Ray Vaughan came in, and I was playing, and I looked up, and there he was sitting out in the lounge and having a drink, and I saw him, and so I finished my little set real quick, and took a longer break and sat down and visited with him, and then I asked him, I said, what are you doing here? And he goes, oh, I just thought I'd come out and check you out and see what you're doing later on tonight. And I said, well, I get off at 9 o'clock. He said, well, why don't you come over to the studio? He says, I'd like to talk with you for a little bit. And I said, okay. So I went over there, and he said he had some guitars that he needed to look at and have tuned up or set up, and all the guitars were fine. There was nothing wrong with them because I did them. And so I was getting ready to go, and he said, no, can you stick around a little while longer? I need to talk to you. And I said, okay, but I got to get up early tomorrow. I got to go to work. And he sat me down and says, you ever thought about going out on the road? And this was one that just right over me, and I thought, no, for what? And I was serious. And he looked at me and goes, you know, to go out to be a roadie. I said, no, I never thought about doing that. He says, how would you like to go to work for me? And I went, to do what? He says, set up my guitars, restring them, tune them up. And I go, well, is that it? And he goes, yeah, that's all. I went, oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. I said, I got a clientele of people, you know, that've been repairing guitars for years, and I don't know if I can let that go or not. And he goes, well, think about it. So I said, okay. So I said goodnight, took off, and I called him back in about, I guess about a week or so, and I said, no, sorry, Stevie, I can't do that. I've got all this going on here, and I don't think I can do that. And he said, okay. He said, well, don't let the thought go. You know, I'm going to be in town for a few months and recording, so just want to let you know. I said, okay. So I thought about it, and I didn't think about it, and then somebody finally said to me, well, at least try it for a week. You know, you can always come back and do guitar repair. And I thought, okay, I'll do that. So I called Stevie and said, okay, if you still have me, I'm here. And that was the end of Charlie's Guitar Shop career for me. And that was a whole new world for me as far as Stevie Ray Vaughan is concerned. And